I want to talk about where not to travel if you are a dark-skinned Black person. Hi, my name is Monique, and I've traveled to roughly 30 countries, most of them solo. The country that treated me the worst as a dark-skinned Black woman is Italy. In 2018, I decided that I wanted to take a trip over to Europe and visit a couple of countries while I was there. So on this trip, I visited Italy as well as Greece. I spent 4 days in Italy and 4 days in Greece. From the moment that I landed in the Rome International Airport, I was treated poorly. As I always do, I booked my transportation to get from the airport to my hostel before landing in Italy. So when I got there, all I had to do was find the company that was supposed to be transporting me, and then they would help me do the rest. Ciao. When I got to the kiosk of the company that I had already previously booked, those people would not even talk to me. The woman told me, wait over there, wait for my colleague to get back. But meanwhile, there were other people, palm-colored people, that were using the same transportation company, and they were helped immediately. The issue was not that they didn't speak any English. It's that they didn't want to talk to me. I heard them speaking English to the other American people. Now, this is my first time in Italy, so I kind of brushed off the airport experience, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to let that ruin my experience. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. I get transported to my hostel. The hostel that I was staying in was very diverse, so I did feel really safe there. Now, I chose this hostel because it was right next door to a market/grocery store, so I knew that I could get snacks and things like that for my room. I get checked into my hostel, and then I go right next door to the market. Y'all, I have never in my life been followed around a grocery store the way I was in Rome. It was this man's sole job to follow me aisle to aisle to watch me to make sure that I didn't steal something. Now, this market, it was small, but there were at least 25 people in there doing the same thing I was doing. But because I was the only Black person in there at that time, I was being watched. There was even one time that I was trying to look at the ingredients of something by using my Google Translate app. If you guys don't know, the app not only translates the languages verbally, but if you put it up to a picture that has a different language and you wanted to translate it to English, it will do that as well. So I was trying to do that, and then the man, he comes over, no photo. And I'm trying to explain to him that I wasn't taking a photo. I was trying to see the ingredients, but he got so aggressive with me that I damn near just I didn't even want whatever I was looking at anymore. I checked out with a couple of items that I had, and I went on about my business. On the day that I visited Florence and Pisa, Italy, which is what you're looking at in the photo, I was in Florence, Italy here. I was on this tour with a white woman and her teenage son. They were from Texas. It was just the three of us on this full-day tour. Things were so bad that she even noticed how poorly they were treating me. And she was like, you know what? You're sticking with us for the day. Wherever, we go, you're just going to come with us because I see the way that they're treating you and it's not right. For a white woman to see and witness how poorly I was being treated, that should speak volumes. While on this tour, I was trying to buy a shirt for my son from a street vendor while we were in Florence, Italy, when we made a stop. The man wouldn't even sell me a t-shirt. He was so busy trying to service other people, and I have the money in hand. I'm not even asking any questions. All I wanted to make sure was the sizing was appropriate, and I was going to just pay him for the shirt. He didn't even want to service me. After my second day in Rome, I wanted to switch my flight and leave and get up out of there because the way I was treated was just so blatantly disrespectful that I didn't even want to spend the next 2 days there. The day I visited the Colosseum, I took the train from my hostel to get to the Colosseum. That was another reason I chose that hostel, was because it was in a central area and I could take the train. When I got off the train and I was trying to find out where to meet my tour group, this man, I met him, he helped me to find out where I needed to go, but he also told me that Africans are treated so bad in Italy. Now, I know and understand that not everyone's experience will be like this, and I'm pretty sure that there are other dark-skinned women who had a different experience from me. But for what I'm saying, just be cautious, be aware that this could potentially happen to you if you do visit Rome, and yeah, just keep that in mind.
Do you know what I hate that happens a lot in Durban is how a lot of other Black people will size you up, whether you're going to buy something at a shop, a clothing store, or a restaurant, just, I'll say specifically maybe retail. And it's almost like, as a black person, like, what are you doing here? You can only buy there. You should be saving money for other things, and this space is not meant for you, and therefore you can't receive a good service. But as soon as someone of a different color walks in, heaven must move, and they, are treated like kings and queens. But when you're black, it's like, we're the same, and it sucks. And I feel like if you're nobody, like, if you're not known, whether it's TV or influencer or politics, you just, nobody cares about you. Like, you're not important. Don't go to the spaces to do your hair, because you most likely won't be treated as well as important people. Restaurants, clothing stores, again, like, if you're nobody, and if you don't look maybe a certain way, people will automatically assume that, like, okay, you're not deserving of attention. And it sucks. Yeah, it happens a lot in Durban. I don't get it.
Do you know where the bank is?
Bank?
Yeah,
환전소예요?
like I want to change money.
Like, what?
Change. From
한국말 못해요? 여기 왔으면 한국말 하시라고요. 괜찮아요. 저희가 할게요. 아니, 한국에 왔으면 한국말 해야지, 그렇지. 근데 왜 이렇게 한국 사람들 강해?
방해하는 거 아니에요? 괜찮아요.
이게 너희 나라 아니잖아.
뭐?
가시는 게 좋을 것 같아요. 저희가 알아서. 아니, 저희랑 같이 가죠. 거의 다 왔어.
한국말 배워야 이해할 수 있으니까.
아니 왜 그러세요 진짜?
제가 알아서 할게요. 갖고 왔는데.
왜 아는 사람이세요? 그래? 진짜 이상한 사람이야.
Hello guys, my name is Golden Boy and I believe you have watched the 3 videos in this video. So the funny part about this is that a lot of African Americans and Africans have gotten used into a point where they usually travel to places where they get mistreated. Like majority of these European countries or countries usually treat people as black people as inferior complexity. So there's so much a lot of hatred all over the world because they hate, or they are not compassionate with the black people. Now in this video there are 3 scenarios. You have heard about this woman, the first video, that she was complaining that she was being stopped, or the shopkeeper kept on following him because he believed that he was going to steal. That is also one of the inferior complexity. Another one is also about this market, in the market. Then the other one is about this Korean. So where do you fall at? The funny part is that most of these African Americans will travel to those European countries because they feel that those are the places where there is so much tourist attraction. So as an African who has lived in Kenya, that is the continent of Africa, that is the African continent, African country. Before migrating to any countries or where, and you want to explore your anger and even drive your success. Well, understanding these how difficult Americans have lived in the US, I've seen they have lived in hardship, where they have been traumatized by a lot of sufferings, a lot of police brutality, and even a lot of unsuccessful job application. I can agree about this 85% with what the lady in this group have talked about. It is true that African Americans have gone through a lot, and their hopes, dreams are being crushed even when many of them are presented with information or opportunities that could drastically improve their lives. Many still don't take it. Those opportunities are not always about financial, but sometimes it is just information. But just like so many non-black Africans, they have bought into the myth that being an American somehow erases the fact that you are, number one, you are human. Number two, you are an African. Number three, you are the descendants of someone or of culture. Now, these are the things that have made America to be very, very into antisocial, and they have divided and a lot of issues American leaders want is that their population to consider as the most important thing oftentimes are of such low priorities. Like you'll find that they prefer to have the white people in those in that population where majority of the black people are being mistreated. Now this is in the relation with a human and if you are an African, and that's why they came out with this African or this mentality that you are a black person or you are a white person, and they can easily manipulate you against their own will. Those, so you need to be very, very careful. It is hard to make comparison with Africans because America is several times wealthier and with more opportunities, even though those are far from now. And right now, a majority of the jobs are not at current than much of the African. But all in honestly, all I can say is that I don't even consider myself as someone who is very, very smart in this scenario. But of anything that I want to say is that America is somehow prettier easy to figure out things than in Africa. That's why you'll find that majority of Africans usually travel to those countries so that they can know, they can find the opportunities like jobs. So where do you figure out the best thing that you can use while that is also your advantage? So figure out how best to use that to your advantage while doing the least pain to your fellow humans, and you'll be all right. So about this, I want to say that people in all over the world really need to mix and stop this the inferior complexity. So I didn't have much to talk about in this video, otherwise I was just devastated on how majority of Africans are still going through this. And even after so many education and videos, people have seen both the white people and the black people, still there is so much mistreatment amongst the black and the white people. Remember, not only the white people or the Pearl people are the racist, or even as you call them, the Jewish. No, even the black people somehow act like as a racist. The only way you can stop racism is when you stop thinking about racism. Thank you guys for watching this video.